Hello. Hey, I have a subscriber. One. Hey, thank you for joining. It's been a while, a couple days since I've done something like this. I want to report that my friend JT was able to completely do his Kickstarter for his next film, A Dark Place. Succeeded perfectly in getting all the money that they needed, and so that's great. Actually, they got more. They got about a little over $9 grand more than they had requested. So all that money will be invested into the camera and additional expenses that go into making films. And so I'm really glad to hear that. And anyone who has watched these videos and didn't subscribe and maybe contributed to The Dark Place and Something Like Summer, thank you. I really appreciate that, because it will help out when production begins in almost about 5 weeks from now, and so I'm really excited about that. I gotta get my airplane ticket. I'm JT's assistant, and while there's money to pay me for my work while I'm up there, there's not enough money to pay for my air flight, so I have to figure out that yet. And so it's a disappointment. I mean, without being unemployed, money's finding hard to come by, but I'm getting a good tax return back. And granted, I should be able to use that money to eat and pay rent and whatever, but you know, a movie is what we're working on is really great. So, and so you know, that's basically it. And I'm really happy about that. It's been nice. It's been nice weather here in Southern California. We've had some. Yesterday, I think it got up into the upper 80s, so that was really, really nice. And probably going to do that again today. It's really sunny and bright outside. And I'm really, so it's nice that the weather is getting cooperative. But of course, this is California. Most of the time it is cooperative. In about 3 months, we're going to be bitching about how hot it is, and we want a day where at least the rain, it might be cloudy or rainy or something like that. But that was fun. But you know, my one subscriber, and I really appreciate her, and she sent me a really nice message on my YouTube things. That was really, really appreciative. And we talked. She mentioned about e-readers, and I'm not necessarily against e-readers. I personally do not like them. Although like I said before, I do find e-readers convenient. If you travel a lot, picking a book with you is bulky. I understand that. And an e-reader is slim. And you can bring them, and you can bring multiple books. I, of course, one of these readers who has to read one book at a time. I don't read 4 books at a time. I read 1 book at a time. Always have. So, and that's why I have hundreds of books I haven't not read. And sitting right next to me, I have, you know, John Irving. Actually going through John Irving's opus right now too. You know, although I don't think I read this book, but I don't think I actually finished it. So my attempt now is to actually finish that one. And another John Irving book. This is actually his first one. I've never read before. So, and I picked up this at the Goodwill place. I wanted to read this when it came out. So, yeah. But I understand people, you know, have certain needs, and so I like the idea. I mean, it's great. You know, as long as you're reading, I suppose. But I think, for me, at least at this junction in my time, e-readers are not in my wheelhouse. Will I say I'll never get an e-reader? No, because I probably will down the line. Because I do think, I look at books now, especially what I want to buy, and there's some books I really, really want to have physically, and there's other books I just don't really care about, but I do want to read. Of course, I could wait till they get to the library, but that's just too much of a pain in the ass. So, who knows? But I'm just not against them completely. I'm just not a fan of them, and I guess I'm just one of those old school people that just, you know, that is going to resist it to the end. I'm told I'm like that, you know, get off my front lawn type person. But no, I just, you know, I've been a reader for 40 some odd, you know, for most of my life, you know, at least 40 years, close to that anyways. And it's hard. I know it's one hard to but that's I can adapt every place else, but for that one thing, for one book, so I want to stay on there. So but it is kind of funny, I guess, of how I'm for technology, yet the convenience of it kind of irritates me. And I don't know why. I like holding the book. I like the smell of it. I don't know, but I'm certainly not against e-readers. I just, and they do serve a purpose, and so they get people to read. But I do think at the end of the day, they're financially, they for a lot of authors, it's not a good deal, and but it works for them, and I'm just sad that it forces out chains. My Borders, which went under in 2011, Barnes and Noble is doomed to go about the same way. The fact that they're just trying to spin off the Nook is an indication that something is happening within Barnes and Noble's organization. I don't know exactly what they do, but I predicted even when Borders went under in 2011 that Barnes & Noble had maybe 5 years left as a major chain of 800 plus stores. And I see them reducing it. Independents are going to be great. I think they have a chance to succeed. They're going to have to figure out how to integrate the e-readers into their aspects. But as I always said, if I can download a book at home, why should I go to a retail outlet and do the exact same thing? It makes no sense. And somehow you've got to figure out how to create an environment opening where people will go to your local store and download a book when they can do it at home. So they got to figure out some sort of business model to do that, or the brick and mortar stores are doomed. And so I don't know. Right now, there's all these people just hedging and hawing about it, and I think that someone's got to figure it out. I don't know if I can figure it out. I just like reading, but I know how to affect a store. I know how to merchandise. I know how to make something that is. I can get people in to buy those damn James Patterson books, but I can also know how to get them to buy something else, and that's a talent that's not being utilized anymore. It's just like, yeah, just sell the James Patterson book and hi, goodbye. No. All right, I'll tell you that, but let's read something else too, and I can tell you what else to read. And because we're losing that in the bookstore, especially in Barnes & Noble, like I've said before, you go into Barnes & Noble, and it's hard to find anyone who really knows anything. And because it's all about metrics and all about the bottom line. And they're not there to really supply you with any information. And on the other half, with customers too, go into the store, know what you want. Don't just go in there with some half ideas and expect sometimes a miracle. But I was good at that, and that's one thing I concentrated on. I was pretty good miracle worker at that, because I understood people would come in with bits and pieces of information, and mangled titles of books, which were always hilarious, and But in the end, I'm grateful for my one subscriber, and I'll try to do as much as I possibly can. And I'll talk more about The Dark Place and Something Like Summer as we get closer to it, especially The Dark Place. I'm thinking about doing a daily vlog on filming of that once we get up into Portland, because production is scheduled to begin on April 19th. Actually, I think it's the 20th. I think we're arriving in Portland on the 19th. But I think that's Saturday, the 20th of April is actually when production begins, but I'm not definitely sure on that. And so I'm gonna as more information I get there, I'll communicate to you guys and to my one lovely subscriber. And thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.